What up, guys? It's Kyle Laston back in the mix. Trap Lord, you know who it is. Hi, Mrs. Strada. Today we're going to be talking about Anthem for Doomed Youth by Wilfred Owen, 1893 to 1918. So let's talk more about Wilfred Owen. Wilfred Owen was a young British officer, and he was really enthusiastic to enter World War One. Now let's think about the bigger picture when I say that. Back in the 1900s, especially in Britain, war was depicted as patriotic and glorious, but in reality, war is less glamorous and more horrific, as we know in recent times. So his encounter with Stegfried Sasson, an older soldier who was cynical about war, and experiencing grueling months in trenches, made Owen realize the reality of war, and it wasn't this glorious thing that he experienced, or he thought was war was like. In the first and second line, he writes, "What passing bells for these who die as cattle, only the monstrous anger of guns." So the deaths are marked by gunshots, and these are the opposite of pleasant church bells that he says in the first line. And we can see this as like a tie-in to the contradictions in the expectation in war. So I think this is pathos because it's the imagery of men being slaughtered like livestock, and it's kind of like showing people how these men dying like cattle, and it's really awful, and it makes them more empathetic to these dying soldiers. In lines 9 through 11, he writes, "What candles may be held to speed them all, not in the hand of boys, but in their eyes, shall shine the holy glimmers of goodbyes." I think this is duty to man because he's saying how you can't really have any rituals or ceremonies to commemorate these fallen soldiers because they don't really do or help anything for the soldier because he's already dead. So what he's trying to say is he's trying to bring the experiences of harsh and cruel war to the audience or the people at home because they think that it's still patriotic while Owen knows and other soldier knows that war isn't how it's seen back in home. Thank you.
The Pearl Harbor attack occurred on December 7, 1941. This attack was led by the Japanese because they were infuriated after the United States established an oil embargo on Japan. Before this attack, the United States created the policy of isolation which isolated the United States from any foreign affairs. However, the attack on Pearl Harbor caused the United States to join World War II. As a response to the attack of Pearl Harbor, President Roosevelt stated, "As Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, I have directed that all measures be taken for our defense, but always will our whole nation remember the character of the onslaught against us." I believe this is ethos because President Roosevelt uses his title as Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy to reassure his audience that he is credible. President Roosevelt also stated, "No matter how long it may take us to overcome this premeditated invasion, the American people and their righteous might will win through absolute victory." I believe this is duty to man because he is banding together the American people to fight the common enemy and that encouraging them that they will win.
This is John O. Morris. I'm going to talk about the Virginia Convention speech that was spoken by Patrick Henry. This speech was spoken before the American Revolution, and it was meant to encourage the people to fight for the American Revolution, creating a local military and voluntary military. So this speech was using pathos because it was supposed to appeal to people's emotions. He did this by saying the words, "Give me liberty or give me death." This gives the sense that he was willing to do anything and gives emotion to the people by the word death, because death usually relates to sadness. At the time, the British military was sending soldiers and troops to occupy the colonies to watch over them. This also shows the call to man, because when he says 3 million of people armed in the holy cause of liberty and in such a country as that which we possess are invincible by any force which our enemy can send against us. He's calling the people to create a militia because he knows that eventually at one point the people of Britain, the hierarchy, will send a military to send against them. And if they do not have that protective military, they will go down. Ultimately, he wants a military to gain their independence and sovereigns under the British Empire and become the United States of Americas instead of the 13 colonies under British rule. So this is what happened in the British rule. And this is also what the Virginia Convention speech by Patrick Henry was alluding to. Thank you.